Heroes in Crisis is a series that explores the idea that superheroes need to cope with what they do as superheroes on a day-to-day basis. What do you do when you're fighting villains who are threatening your and your family's lives? What do you do when you save individuals and they immediately step into a burning building? How does that get treated in the superhero community? Well, they go to a location known as Sanctuary where they can anonymously sit down and give their confessions to a Kryptonian psychologist. Well, what happens if everything goes wrong and everyone dies, including Wally West and Roy Harper? How does Batman, Flash, Superman, Wonder Woman solve the mystery of who killed everyone at Sanctuary? Well, today we're going to be continuing that story with issues 5 and 6. This is the Complete Story series, where we take trade paperbacks and single issues of your favorite storylines and we break them down into digestible bites and then give them back to you as an audio drama. And today, we're continuing our coverage of Heroes in Crisis. For the beginning of this story, click the link down below.
The cameras roll. Booster's gold visor is perfect. He knows that. But it isn't. There's a smudge. It's there from the time an alternate timeline Batman killed himself. It's not there. Booster knows that, but it's all he can see. The smudge, the blood, it's not as clear as he needs it. Booster and Beetle are sitting on a couch, hard at work solving the mystery. The TV lights the room in a soft haze. Finally, Booster reaches for the remote. I got it. We go to the Flash's lab, knock him out, steal all the evidence. Beetle disagrees. That's the dumbest move ever. He just busted him out of jail. But that's why it's the best move, because it's the dumbest move. No one would think about it. And with that, they clink their glasses. Back in the past, on the Sanctuary tapes, where the superheroes reveal their deepest, darkest worries, anxieties, and fear, the cameras roll. Commander Steel, I've died twice. I always seem to be brought back from the dead, and I'm back again. Probably won't stick this time either. No, I doubt it'll stick, I really do. But back in her current day, Batgirl wants to check Skeets. She's with Harley Quinn, trying to solve this mystery. He's been checked, Batman dismisses. Barbara knows, but she can put together a rig at her place to read 24th century technology. Skeets might not even know what he knows. It couldn't hurt. Fine. Batman moves off through the cave. Batgirl thanks him, but he wants to know if she finds anything. Why isn't he off making a statement with Superman and Wonder Woman? I'm Batman. I don't do press. But back in the past, with our heroes, the cameras are rolling. Solstice can't control her powers. She can't look normal for more than a few seconds. This does nothing to help her. This does not put her in a good mental state, and she screams in frustration. In our current day, Batgirl ties Skeets up so he can't get away. She knows that he knows where Booster is, but Skeet told Batman that he didn't know. No matter what, Batman wouldn't hurt him. Batgirl might. She doesn't know, but Harley Quinn, she would. Over with Booster, the glass shatters as he comes flying through Barry's window. The fastest man alive easily dodges the attack, punching Booster across the face again. What is the matter with you? Barry says, standing over Booster, ordering him to stay down. But an energy blast knocks the speedster out. No one is more surprised than Booster Gold. Ted, it worked! Superman and Wonder Woman stand before the world, the cameras beaming across the globe. They have prepared a statement about Sanctuary, about the deaths of their friends, the world's heroes having died. Throughout the world as they speak, some people mourn those that were lost, but others refuse to rest until those responsible are brought to justice. Superman tells the world about the incident at Sanctuary, about those that are wanted for more questioning, and on the concerns the people have about those that protect them. You see, Sanctuary is a place of respite, a place where those who live a life of violence may seek a moment to heal. The question is, if we need peace, are we your heroes? Somehow broken, unworthy of your trust, to acknowledge that those who fight are also vulnerable, afraid. Does that mean that you should all be afraid? Superman has seen his friends deal with this burden of being a hero on a daily basis. He's watched hundreds rise against the worst evils, taking their place as the barrier that divides the people from the chaos and death. They have stood for this world and said, today, by God, it will not fall. To do this with the knowledge of the pain that they will incur, for the scars that they will collect. The scars that they collect are not marks of a madman, but the wounds of a warrior. Thank you. Batgirl and Harley jump across the rooftops. Remember your promise. Harley agrees. She won't kill him, just murder him. That's the same thing, Batgirl explains. Harley just learned something new today. Murdering and killing are the same. Back at the lab, Booster explains to Beetle that there is something wrong with Wally's body. It isn't right. Booster memorized everything that he could about the heroes when he was a janitor. Wally is 5 days too old. With that, Batgirl and Harley come jumping through the already broken window. "Hey Booster, I'm gonna massacre you!" Batgirl calmly explains that that is the same thing. Harley learned a second new thing today. But what about Wally, Harley, and even Narc? What were they going through? Well, we'll come back to the current mystery later because we need to know what the heroes of Sanctuary were going through, how they dealt with things. You see, Narc doesn't know how many people he saved. He remembers the old world. Before he was a hero, before he saved people. He lays in the back of his mammoth and he looks up at the night sky. Because before this, Narc was free. Free from the chains that society had placed on him. He remembers fighting every day for his survival. Animals wanted him for dinner. Other men wanted to steal the dinner he had. And every day that he fought, his life was an endless wave of blood and death. Narc misses the old days, but it isn't awful. Now he's intelligent. Now he can read and quote the great writers and philosophers of history. With that, his confession ended, and his session ended, so Narc is ready to go home. But that's when the alarms blare. Out in the field, Narc cradles the body of the Protector in his arms. They're covered in blood. He tells the young man not to be scared. His blood mixes with that of his friends, and he falls. But what about Wally on that day? What was Wally doing? Well, Wally doesn't like to talk about how many people he saved. He doesn't like to brag. But it doesn't matter. It was never enough. His number should be higher. He should save more. Wally was lost for a little while, lost and forgotten. But he made his way back, and he saw Barry again, and they hugged, with Barry asking how could he have ever forgotten him. Wally was back, but his family wasn't. His friends, they all missed him. They hugged him. How could they forget him? He was what they were missing, the thing that was gone, that they just couldn't quite remember, that thing on the tip of their tongues. He was surrounded by friends again, but his family wasn't there. Everyone was excited. Things that had seemed lost were reborn, but they weren't there. Linda, Iris, Jai, everyone said that they were whole now, that Wally was back, but he wasn't. He wasn't whole. Without his family, he was empty. He was alone. And on that day, Wally was on the porch, cradling the body of Roy Harper in his arms, blood everywhere. And that's when the blast hit him from behind and he fell. What about Harley Quinn? What was she doing that day? Well, Harley doesn't save anyone. That's just not her thing. She broke into Sanctuary to see her friend Poison Ivy. She wasn't even supposed to be there. She was just bored. Ivy tried to help her, so they went to one of the rooms, and the Joker was standing before Harley. She hit him, and she wiped the jokes off his face, but this didn't help. Ivy will always try to help. Later, as the two of them sit in a pile of Joker bodies in a field, that's when the alarms blared, and Ivy told Harley to hide. But Harley didn't listen. Harley doesn't listen. She went over to Sanctuary, and she saw what happened. She saw the truth. She saw Booster Gold standing over the body of Wally West. I'm not supposed to be here.
That brings us up to issue 6. Next, we'll be bringing you 7 and 8 and continuing the plot line. We are rotating this with Batman Who Laughs, so keep in mind it'll be 2 weeks until we get back to Heroes in Crisis. But let me know in the comments down below what you think of the latest revelation. What happened on the day that everyone died? Don't forget, you can follow me on Twitter at Comicstorian, and you can follow me over on Instagram at Comicstorian, and on Twitch at twitch.tv/EligibleMonster, where we do all of our podcasting and video games right there. Hope to see you guys around, and thank you so much for being a subscriber right here at Comicstorian.